Well, howdy, my name is Gunnar Clovis. I am a game developer, and today I would like to play Moving On by Torchbearer and Dragonhammer. Awesome. So, I assume Dragonhammer is Johnny Woo's account. Yeah, really cool. Torchbearer being Marlon Gonzalez, the programmer, pixel art by Johnny Woo, songs, and yeah, they have included the sources, and yeah, no copyright, perfect. Like, this is honestly so great. Holy crap, I really like how it's embedded. It's very nice. Actually, I want to check out. So I have Torchbearer here. Torchbearer, of course, being formerly New World Circuit, the first 3 games I played in this Itchy for Jam series. Really wonderful person, new game developer, and yeah, have been really pumping out games, which is fantastic. Dragonhammer, cool. Yeah, so I assume that was through my critiques. But yeah, I'm really proud to see this. Really moving on with games, participating in Weekly Game Jam. Really fantastic. This was made for Global Game Jam 2020, which is really awesome. The theme being repair. Cool. This is labeled as an adventure game, playable in browser, which is great. Always make your games playable in browser. And I'm excited for this game. I don't know anything about it. I always try to play these as blind as possible because I want my reactions to be genuine. But this is an adventure game like the first game, Pumpkin's Task, which I really liked. It was just a short demo, but it was really cool. I really liked the art in Pumpkin's Task. I love the atmosphere, and it had that Pokemon inspiration, it had the Undertale inspiration. And I don't know, just the heart here is making me think Undertale. I'm interested. I will say, it's getting to the point where Torchbearer has made enough games that I'm confident they won't stop, which I'm really happy about. And also, their game quality is really nice, and so my critiques are going to be more critical, because that always happens. The more games you produce, the better your games. The more confidence I have in you, the more critical and harsh I'm going to be. I don't think I'm going to be harsh with this game, but I'm going to be more nitpicky and annoying, so watch out for that. Here, Moving On. I like the name. Moving On is a good title. The description is also just moving on. It's actually kind of ominous, but I recommend making your description, a description of the game, the tagline. Most of Torchbearer's games actually do not have a description. Surf's Up Reporter and Power Word Click Ninja do not have a tagline, which you set right under the title in itch. Whereas Hibaro, Wiz, and Pumpkin's Task, they do have taglines, but I don't think they're very good. The Hibaro Puerto Rico doesn't say anything about the game. That is cool. It is good. Actually, the information that it's the Hibaro of Puerto Rico, that's important, but I wish this said it was an RTS game, right? I wish it gave a little bit more information. Say, I don't know. What I make up is not going to be as good as thinking about it for a little bit more, but I don't know, something. An RTS game about being a Hibaro farmer of Puerto Rico, something like that. And Wiz, power overwhelming. Actually, I do think that's kind of funny, but it still doesn't describe anything about the game. Pumpkin's Task doesn't. Halloween Game Jam project. Cool, it's about Halloween. Doesn't tell me anything else about the game. Give some more information here. Moving on. I still think it's better than a complete lack of a subtitle, but it should be. Tell me about the game. Tell me what it is. Just a few words, little pitch for it. The theme for this page has been set to black, which I think black, regardless, will always pretty much look better. It is just the default text, white text, and kind of itch red link. Customize that a little bit more, and that's really my bar minimum, because it's only like one click. You hit the edit themes button up in the corner, just sets in different colors. Even picked from there, they have some presets. Picking a few of those, but you just can copy the color palette from your game, which should be a nice, simple color palette. That can help a lot. But at this point, I think you can extend and make your itch pages a little bit more complicated. You can have banners and background images and do more interesting things, all in the edit themes button. Still very minimal work, just kind of uploading some files. I'm not the best at this. Don't look at me for perfection on this, but you can do some really amazing stuff, especially if you're an artist. But even just reusing your game assets as a programmer, like I do, I think can make your game pages look a lot better than just a simple flat color. But that's just something to keep in mind. All right, but without further ado, The room is meant to be dark. Controls, WSD to move, left mouse button to fire. Moving On is a game inspired by love and heartbreak, submitted to Global Game Jam 2020. The theme was repair. While the world is in full sprint, many of us are dealing with heartbreak and fond memories. That deep feeling is where this game stems from. Following our hearts to find fulfillment through embracing challenge is a difficult task when we are breaking down. But it's important to know we can always build ourselves back up. Cheers to everyone who participated in Global Game Jam 2020, game devs and players alike. Programming by Marlon Gonzalez, pixel art by Johnny Woo, and some nice chill hop songs. Very nice. Alright. Find out what this is all about. Okay. I like that already. It still is ultimately a simple page, but there's a lot happening on it. Hitting me right off the bat with some nice chill hop music. I like that. There's, the character, and the little blinking, and the heart, and there's, this little red circle that's kind of bounding up through the pixel art heart, and similar thing, well, it's just kind of blinking on the title screen. Press mouse to start. So I wanted to mention this earlier with the cover page. Cover page is really dark, and that's just a screenshot of the title menu, obviously. So the colors of the game are very dark. It says the room is meant to be dark, but this makes it hard to read. You see that the black player is pretty much blending in with this background, and my setup that I use to play these games makes it easier to see color contrast, but for someone that had color blindness, which is 1 in 11 men have color blindness, by the way, it's usually not diagnosed, but that's true, or on maybe a worse monitor and different lighting conditions, this would probably be completely unreadable, right? It's this kind of dark grayish purple, perhaps, and that black doesn't even seem like a pure black, but I could be wrong about that. And then similar thing with the text, seems like it's the same color, a lighter gray, and then this kind of quickly blinking black text. Also, I think that blink is a little too much. That blinks like that, that's on a very minor scale, but that kind of blinking can trigger epilepsy, which I'm sure you're aware of. In extreme conditions where you're just like flashing the entire screen between black and white, that's obviously a lot more problematic and obvious, but even small things, it can be hurtful to the eye. So I don't really recommend doing these kind of fast blinking or too much. I do like text blinking actually, but it should be slower. But just the colors here, it makes it very hard to see, very hard to read. I'm in a pretty optimal setup to read it, and it's still kind of difficult for me. So consider playing with that. Also within your itch settings, you can trigger it to allow full screen. Always do that, because I would love to be playing this game in full screen. It looks like a very nice atmospheric game already, and I would like to hit that full screen button in the corner, but that's not available because that wasn't set in the itch settings. But anyway, here we go. Nice little room, cool. There's collisions, awesome. I like the player. They have have directional movement and different sprites, cool. I still like this music. Alright. It's a dark room. We have a ton of hearts, by the way. Holy crap, that's an incredible amount of hearts. And here's is where the room is meant to be dark. Oh goodness. So when I'm walking up, I can't see where I'm going, right? I'm holding W, I let go of W so that I kind of snap back down. Like that, right? This is tough. Because it also doesn't really seem like I can push up against, well, I don't know, it's hard to tell. Because I can't tell, I can tell when I'm facing down, facing right, and vaguely when the difference between right and left, not really. But I can't tell when I'm moving up, so that makes it really difficult to do this. I do actually, people, not everyone likes this, and I understand why. Okay, cool, so I got the little heart collectible, and that seems to be filling up the heart. I assume I have to get another one in the other room. Oh, but I'm getting out of here, it's just gonna be just as difficult. Maybe. Here we go. Maybe not. cool. I do like black rooms, but we should at least be able to see the player, if nothing else. And having the player completely blend into the darkness, except their eyes, and even their eyes when I'm walking upwards, that's really tough. I would not recommend that. Oh my goodness. Alright, so I have these little enemies chasing me, and the heart is, I can trap them by trying to make them go through this object, and it looks very nice. I like the artwork quite a lot. There's a lot of pixel art detail. I really like the movements of the little slime enemies. But here, I don't know if I can walk into this, because I can't really tell what's happening. The heart piece and this weird platform. Oh, what? Oh, I can click. Right. Oh, goodness, I can press my left mouse button to fire. I didn't remember that at all. Alright, so I shoot hearts, and it does not seem there's no limit to them. Alright, cool. I do really like how it looks, actually. It has a nice little sound effect. And yeah, look how when... first, look how they kind of fade away. They don't just disappear. Or at least... maybe they're kind of disappearing. It actually doesn't seem like it. But at this max range, they're definitely fading out of existence, which is really nice. And then they leave a nice little particle effect. And you see that every time I make an impact. That's really nice. That's not too much work, and it's a very nice effect. I like that quite a lot. But because there's infinite ammo, and I move at the same speed, and there's no... okay, I just had to kill everything. And that collected my heart. But yeah, because there's infinite ammo and I move just as fast and I can do everything I could do anyway, and the hearts only hurt the enemies, there's no reason I wouldn't just hold the mouse down this whole entire time, which is a very common problem in games, particularly with like 2D space shooters, where often those kind of games, they make you press a mouse button to fire. Oh, okay. I like the screen shake. It is tearing a little bit. Yeah, there's some tear there, which I think is a game maker setting. Cool. Yeah, nice little boss battle. Awesome. I really like when jam games do boss battles. I don't really tend to make them myself. I do like this kind of view and art style, but you see how I duck down here? I can't really see what I'm doing anymore. Oh, see, I might have died. Yeah, I think I died there. Oh, I have to restart. Oh, no. Oh, it sucks. Yeah, alright. So with this kind of art style, I really recommend you let the player kind of walk up into the wall, right? So that's perfect. How the collision doesn't really start until we hit this top brick, so that our feet can, we can walk all the way up into the wall. So we're standing on the wall like that, right? And the logical thing in terms of dimensions and space is to do the similar thing down, so that I walk here and I get covered up by the wall. That does mix visual and kind of spatial physics sense, but I actually don't recommend doing this. A lot of games do this, but I think personally it's better if the collision starts right here. So it's actually that doesn't make it even simpler, because then the walls have no collision pretty much, right? It's only these little top purple bricks that I'm tracing. They would have collision, because then I can't walk down into the wall and go out of sight. I can just barely see the top of my head, but that's really unintuitive, and especially because I tend to get stuck on ledges with this game. Like if I have both down and right pressed here, which I do, I have both S and D pressed, and I stay still, because my attempt to go down causes too much friction and I can't move, and I have to let go of down in order to move. That feels a little unnaturalistic, and that was causing a lot of my problems in this dark room, right? Especially because I can't tell where my player is a lot of the time when I'm walking up, which I have to for long stretches like this, and I'm just kind of guessing and hoping that it works out. Alright. So yeah, that's a personal recommendation of mine, is to... oh goodness. is to avoid that kind of stuff. And with movement, you always want to this is just general game design thing. Favor the player as much as possible. Make life easier for the player at every possible step. And so yeah, when I'm pressing like A and S from WASD. So that's left and down, and I'm stuck in place. I wish I just moved left, right? That my attempts to move down were ignored, right? Because I'm already the furthest down it can be. But my attempts to move left were not ignored, and those were acknowledged. And here there's some collision problems. Let's see, like I got stuck there. Where I kind of go into this corner, and now I can't. I'm pressing up. I'm pressing W, and I don't move at all. And I'm not even pressing A anymore for left. I'm just pressing W, and I kind of have to push out and then come back around. So that's suboptimal. Okay, I thought it was killing all the enemies that opened this, but I was really not sure what triggered this at all. Okay, still not sure. Really, I was shooting that, but I'm not quite sure that's what I did. So watch on the left side of the screen. Yeah, that tearing. Again, the art is really nice. Really, really like the art. It's very, it's very simple and charming. Okay, I was gonna say the music doesn't really become as exciting for a battle here, and that's not true. It did happen, but I couldn't hear it because this battle boss music is much quieter, at least on my end, than than that main gameplay music. This is actually a very good boss theme, actually. Yeah, this is very nice boss theme, but the mixing was kind of off because yeah, it was very quiet for me. Oh right, I need to shoot the boss. Duh. It was very quiet for me. I'll mix it so that you don't notice that. Probably. Maybe. Yeah, it's actually a very nice boss theme. Another part, again, I tend not to make bosses. I don't know. I do like bosses in concept. But a big problem that games typically have and game designers have when making bosses is that the bosses are just kind of a random, like, other mechanic. Like, you're playing one kind of game. I don't know, say you're running around, you're solving puzzles, you're shooting enemies or something, and then the boss is just something completely different. It's a completely new kind of gameplay with new game mechanics that you have to learn and are only relevant just for the boss. Don't do this. Your bosses should always be using and building upon the mechanics. The bosses are, they should be ultimate challenges of what you have already learned. You should not really be learning new stuff when you fight a boss, right? I don't think this game has this problem. I'm just talking about it because it's a very common thing with bosses. So a lot of good stuff happening here. I have not mentioned yet because a lot of good game design, particularly with game feel, goes unnoticed, unfortunately, because it's the kind of thing that you don't really notice unless it's gone. So here, I'm trying to notice all the nice little details. There's of course the shooting is still awesome, great particle effects and how that's used. I love the little sparkle. But you notice how when I shoot the enemies, they flash white. That's really good. It's very simple to do, but it's a very smart move because that is telling me as the player that my shots have made an impact. And since these enemies are kind of spongy, they don't go down with one hit, I need that information, otherwise it would just feel like I'm not making any progress, right? And the same thing with the boss. Boss flashes red to indicate being hit, which is great. Alright, cool. Thanks for playing, a game by John Woo and Marlon Gonzalez. Wonderful. So yeah, moving on. Very nice. I do understand and sympathize with this kind of more somber description, but it also didn't really describe the game itself much. Yeah. yeah, it was a simple game, but I rather liked it. Yeah, again, I don't know. I like this title screen in concept. I like the pulsating heart, but the colors are just too similar. There's not enough contrast. It's not quite visible enough. And we don't really have that problem during the game. You see that my black character shows up pretty well against this gray, but on the title screen it's up against a more kind of dark purple, like on the edge of the screen, right? Here I don't have really any problems with the color contrasts, but it's very exasperated on the title screen. But I think I've rambled on long enough. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Gunnar Clovis. This is Moving On by Marlon Gonzalez and Johnny Woo. Forgive me for any pronunciation mistakes. Yeah, go out and play it. Follow Torchbearer and what was the other name? Dragonhammer. Yeah, follow Torchbearer and Dragonhammer. Really cool. They've been making quite a few games together, which is really fantastic. I am almost done reviewing all of their games as of now. I'm sure they'll be putting out more very soon, which I'm very excited by. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was fun or helpful in some way on your game dev journey. There's always great stuff we can learn from every game that comes out, whether it's good or bad. Yeah, I really enjoy this. Really nice music, really good art, really good graphics, and yeah, not really any problems with the code. Yeah, really the only problem I could see is like this kind of like getting stuck here and the movement thing. That's not really a bug, that's just kind of an oversight, right? And not that big a deal. It's really not a big deal. As I said, I am being a little bit more critical now that they have made so many games together as a team, and yeah, are doing great work. Really excited to see it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please remember to love yourself and respect those around you. An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Please do not hold a grudge. Let things go. You'll be happier for it. You'll just try and leave the world a better place than you found it. Doesn't mean we all can do that all the time, but certainly try. I certainly try. I hope you have a lovely day. Goodbye.